Good evening and welcome. The Wareham Conservation Commission will hold a meeting under Chapter 131, Section 40 of the General Laws of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act and/or the Town of Wareham Wetlands Protection Bylaws, Division 6, and any other applicable laws on Wednesday, March 15th, 2023 at 6:30 p.m. All matters listed may involve a discussion and possible vote. Our location is Wareham Multi-Service Center, 48 Marion Road, Wareham, Massachusetts, room 320. All hearings of the Wareham Conservation Commission are held simultaneously under the authorities of the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act and the Town of Wareham Wetlands Protection Bylaw, Division 6. Although a single decision of the commission is issued, it represents a separate decision under each authority. Josh, could you start our roll call, please?
Joshua Faraday, Conservation Administrator.
Autumn Wood.
Kwame Bowdy.
Michael Mercier.
Denise Schultz? Turn your mics on. Say your names again.
Jessica Parr.
Nicole Curto.
Kwame, can you read our first advertisement for 8 Franklin Street?
Yes. This is a request for determination of applicability for Jonathan A. Nettleman, 8 Franklin Street, Wareham, Mass. 02571, to increase the patio, add an addition to the deck and block patio landing located on Assessors Map 19, Lot 33, 8 Franklin Street, Wareham, Mass.
Is there someone here to represent this project?
I don't think so. I'll just read my staff report.
Go
This project was to bring the property into compliance with some work they had done that was different from their original order of conditions to the certificate of compliance request. I felt that the work that was done would have been approved by the commission, so I had them file a request for determination of applicability so that we had it recorded in our files. I would recommend a -2 for the work.
Is there anybody who wants to speak to this project? If not, could I have a motion?
I move that we close the hearing.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? The vote is, 400 tonight? May I have a motion?
Motion to close the hearing with the -2
No,
determination.
not to close.
Excuse me?
Not to close, to accept the
Oh,
project.
Yeah.
A motion to accept the project with the -2 determination.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? 400. The motion passes. Kwame, could you read to 11 Bourne Point Road?
Yeah. It's a request of notice of intent for Michaela Maffaletto. Yeah, pretty good. Environmental Consulting and Restoration LLC, P.O. Box 4012, Plymouth, Mass. 02361, to perform vegetation management located on Assessors Map, parcel ID number 36-P2, 11 Bourne Point Road, Wareham, Mass.
Who's here to speak to the project?
Good evening, members of the commission. Brad Holmes with Environmental Consulting and Restoration. On behalf of Eden Trust for the property at 11 Bourne Point Road, we filed a vegetation management plan. The site is located to the south of Bourne Point Road. It's across from number 8 Bourne Point, who's the residence of Donna Eden, who's I'm working with on this project. The property to the south, as you can see highlighted there, is 11 Bourne Point Road. The site is an undeveloped lot. There are some kind of gardens up towards the northern portion of the site towards Bourne Point Road. But the majority of the site is a forested lot, which ranges from that upland forest down to a bordering vegetative wetland. The bordering vegetative wetland's been delineated, as you can see there in the green line. There's a salt marsh that's located down gradient of the bordering vegetative wetland. There's also land subject to coastal storm flowage, and you can see the 100-foot buffer zone with the dashed green line, which is the landward limit of the Conservation Commission's jurisdiction from the BVW. So we've submitted a vegetation management plan to mainly improve the site. We're not looking to do anything drastic here. They maintain this property in a natural forested state. It is within a conservation restriction too, so we're limited in the activities that we can propose and perform here. So what we're looking to do is mainly 3 activities. One would be to identify non-native invasive plants and remove those by hand. The work is proposed outside the wetland area. There's only be located within the buffer zone in that small portion of land subject to coastal storm flowage. Once we remove the non-natives, we would interplant with native species. We've included a step-by-step methodology in the notice of intent. And also we're proposing to maintain and improve an existing vista corridor. You can see the vista corridor highlighted, which is kind of on that eastern portion of the site. In that vista corridor, we'd be pruning trees to maintain the view out to Bourne Cove. We have a detailed narrative that I can get into if you have questions on that, but those are the activities that have been submitted in the notice of intent. We have received a DEP file number with no comments. The southernmost portion of the site is within natural heritage, but we're avoiding work in that area. As you can see, we're locating everything above the bordering vegetative wetland. And one twist that came since we filed this application is that we coordinated with the Wareham Land Trust. As I mentioned, the site's in a conservation restriction, and we just wanted to make sure they were aware of the application and didn't have any objections to the proposed work, which they don't. They agree that it fits within the scope of the restriction. However, there's been a boardwalk that's been installed in the salt marsh in the lower portion of the site that has been done by others. We were not aware of it. So that's something that we need to address with the commission. We're looking to remove that, but we weren't going to do anything, obviously, until we had a approval from the commission. It doesn't fit within the conservation restriction, and the owners don't want it there either. My thoughts, and I briefly hit it up with Josh, was that I'd like to try to keep the removal of that boardwalk out of the order of conditions. I have to do a little bit more research on it in the sense that I'm not sure if it's solely on this property or if it extends onto other properties. I haven't seen it myself because I didn't go down into the lower wetland during the field work. So my plan is to get out and GPS the location of it and then overlay it onto the plan so we'll know where it is, and then put a simple, removal methodology that I can present to the commission. But I'm kind of thinking of the process of a friendly enforcement order, in the sense that the commission could issue an enforcement order for the removal of the walkway. That order allows us to work in the resource area and would be a cooperative permit. That way it wouldn't bind to the order of conditions and kind of dirty the activities that we're trying to do. But that's up for discussion with the commission. That's an idea that I briefly floated by Josh earlier. That has to be addressed, I think, separately than this proposal, but we obviously wanted the commission to be aware of it, and we have to do that. But we are here for the vegetation management plan, so I'll take any questions you have.
Thank you. Josh, do you want to speak to the project?
Yeah, I think Brad laid it out pretty well. Other than, I don't have any other comments, except I would suggest that we tackle the boardwalk and other issues in an enforcement order and not through the order of conditions.
Autumn?
No questions, thank you.
Kwame?
No questions.
Mike?
No questions?
Jessica?
No questions.
Nicole?
No questions.
And I don't have any questions. Can I have a motion? Oh, is there anybody from the audience who wants to speak to this project? Come on.
Kathy Papalardo, president of the Wareham Land Trust. The boardwalk that Brad is referring to was discovered this year when we did annual monitoring. So this was all new to us. The property owner had no clue it was there. She doesn't go down there. We have been in touch with her by phone and by certified mail. She's aware of it. She's very upset it's there. She didn't put it in. So it's a neighborhood thing, but that's separate from this. The Land Trust has no objection to the vegetation management plan that's being proposed, and planting native vegetation makes perfect sense. I think when the order of conditions comes out, because as per the terms of the conservation restriction, any work that's done in the conservation restriction area, we have to know about it, get written notice, and then we have to respond in writing, yes or no. So when the order of conditions comes out, the Land Trust would like a copy of it, so then we can respond appropriately to the order of conditions. And I think working with Brad and the property owner is going to resolve this relatively easy, is my hope. And the property owner, because she was very upset about it, and she said, what should I do? I said, don't do anything. We don't want to make it worse. Just leave it the way it is until we deal with Concom. Brad had written out everything, so it was explained clearly to you all and to the property owner that it has to get dealt with. It's got to go before a Conservation Commission, and we, the Land Trust, is going to work with you to get this resolved. So it's being taken care of. So we rise in support of the project.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Anybody else from the audience need to speak? Then
I move that we close the hearing.
I have a motion to close
Second?
and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Abstained. Can I have a motion in relation to this project?
Is this a determination?
No, just to issue the approval with to issue the order of conditions. And I would suggest one condition is that they stay within the purview of the conservation restriction on the property.
So moved.
I have a motion
Second.
and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? See Josh before you start your work, and then we'll deal with the enforcement order afterwards.
Sure. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Josh.
We have a notice of intent for 10, 14, and 16 River Terrace Road, which is continued from another meeting. Is there someone here for that?
I don't believe so. I would recommend continuing. I know they are having trouble with the property lines on where they want to construct their seawall, so, yeah, it sounds like it's a
Can I
big
have a
issue.
Can I have-
Motion to continue till April, what date is it?
Fifth.
Fifth?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? 400 is the vote. 17 Murphy Street.
Hi, good evening. Attorney Jillian Morton, here for Scott Green. We have also Mike Ball here, and we're here in front of you, hopefully looking for a favorable vote tonight in
Can we have
regards
the
to this.
third gentleman's name?
Mike Ball,
Okay, but that's only two names.
Scott Green,
Scott Green,
Jillian
okay.
Morton. So this project came before you a couple times, and we worked really hard to be able to address the dune mitigation and the invasive species. So I might just toss it over to Mike because he submitted to Josh the report regarding the invasive species, how they would be dealt with. And so he's the expert in regards to that, if you want to update everyone.
Yep. Hello, I'm Mike Ball from Marsh Matters Environmental. I'm a wetland consultant and plant biologist. At the last hearing, it was agreed that there'd be a invasive species management element for this project, and I was charged with putting together a set of recommendations for the species that occur on site. And so I prepared a letter dated February 26, which you should have in your file, that lists the different species that were observed on site, and a set of recommendations for management. One recommendation being a mechanical-only management method, and the other being a combination of mechanical and chemical treatment. So I don't necessarily think it's necessary for me to go through all the species and all the different management recommendations, but should you have questions, I'd be happy to answer them. This was specifically for areas outside the work limit, but in your 30-foot no-touch zone. I think it was decided that it would be best not to just target one particular species, but take the entire 30-foot no-touch zone and treat or manage all the species in there for the benefit of the habitat and the native species that would remain. So I'd be very happy to answer any questions.
Want to speak to the project?
Yeah, I think we're at the end of a long road here. And I think the only thing that held us up a little bit from our last hearing was the difference between replanting within the existing concrete structure that was there versus the 30-foot no disturb zone. And I think moving forward, they should revegetate the entire 30-foot no disturb instead of only the structure, which I believe you guys have no objections to. So with that being said, I would, recommend the approval with the condition that you follow the invasive species removal plan laid out by Mike, and that you condition that the 30-foot no disturb zone be revegetated with native species.
Okay, I just see shaking your head. I need a vocal that you agree with that.
I'm sorry?
I need a vocal that you agree with that.
Yes, absolutely, we agree.
Thank you.
I had some notes too. I know the chairwoman's not here, but I know she wanted a split rail as well.
Oh, yeah, so that goes into your 30-foot no disturb
Yeah.
boundary with a physical barrier. And
So
I
people
believe-
wouldn't be cutting through there.
yeah, and I believe, again, I believe you were in favor of that, which would stop people from trespassing through your property. So,
That's correct.
Anything else?
Nope.
No? Autumn, do you have any questions?
No questions, thank you.
Kwame?
No questions, thanks.
Mike?
No questions, thank you.
Jessica?
No questions.
Nicole?
No questions.
And I don't have any questions. So can I have, is anybody from the audience here to speak to this project? Seeing none, can I have a motion to close?
Motion to close the hearing?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? We have a 4-0-0 vote. Can I have a motion, please?
Okay, this is...
Go ahead, Kwame.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead, do it.
Really? Buddy.
Read my own writing. Let me see. I'd like to make a motion to close the hearing with the conditions of
Not to close the hearing, to accept the
to
project.
accept the project, okay, and also to, let's see, the
Revege-
30-foot to be replanted, right, Josh?
Revegetated.
That's one. The railing,
Split rail physical
railing.
fence, delineating
and
the
also
no-touch zone,
the removal plan of
invasive species.
invasive species. Does that sound good?
Is that it?
Is that pretty much so?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We have abstained, 4-0-0 vote for approval. See Josh before you start your work.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Aren't you paying attention? 72B Burgess Point, I believe, has asked for a continuance.
correct?
Can I have a motion?
Motion to continue till April 5th?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Can I hear voices?
Aye.
Maybe the only voice there.
Opposed, abstained. It is continued until, what date was it?
April 5th.
April
April 5th. Number 6 on the list here was Pinewood Beach Association. I believe they have also asked for a continuance.
Yeah, they actually continued at our last hearing, so
Okay.
it's not appropriate. I just have them on the agenda so
Okay.
that I don't forget.
Okay, motion to continue till April 5th.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? Thank you. Enforcement orders, we don't have any. Extension requests, we do not have any. Certificates of compliance, starting with 8 Franklin Street.
So we saw this one at our last hearing. I recommended that you didn't approve it because of the alteration of the work that was done. They have since filed the RDA to get that work approved, which you guys did earlier this evening. So I would suggest the issuance of the certificate of compliance for 8 Franklin Street, SE 0762561.
Do I have a motion?
I move that we issue the certificate of compliance.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? And abstain. 400 for issuance of the certificate of compliance. 21 Fisher Cove Road has 2 certificates they're looking for.
Yep, so I went out and visited the property at 21 Fisherman Cove Road. The 2 orders of condition that were in effect mainly had to do with the pier that was located across the street from the property, but is owned by 21 Fisherman Cove Road. My recommendation would be to issue a certificate of compliance for SE 0761020 and SE 0761823.
Do I have a motion?
Motion to offer a certificate of compliance for 21 Fisherman Cove Road, SE 076, both 1002 and 1823.
Second.
Oh, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Abstained. We have a 400 vote for issuance. 43 Galt Road.
So this is actually one that we saw within the last couple months. If you recall, this was for the replacing of the septic tank within the driveway of this property. He also had mention of moving a shed as well. It didn't appear that the shed had to be moved, but I would recommend the issuance of the certificate of compliance for 43 Galt Road, SE 0762775.
Has the shed been moved? They didn't move it.
They didn't need to.
They didn't need to. Okay.
All right.
Can I have a motion?
Motion to offer a certificate of compliance for 43 Galt Road in Wareham, Mass, SE 0762775.
Second.
I have a motion and a second for issuance. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Abstained. We have a 400 vote for issuance. Amended order of condition request for 6 Preservation Lane.
Yep. So the applicant is here to speak to the project.
I can speak to him, my engineer was on his way, I don't see him yet, so.
Yeah, we moved through our hearing a little faster than I thought we would.
I said, I'll sit there.
We're moving along here.
But I can, if
And
you want just an explanation.
could you state your name, please?
Glenn Priolo, 6 Preservation Lane.
Yeah, I think it's
Okay.
easy enough that
Yeah.
you don't really need him.
Go ahead, Mr. Perillo.
We've got a existing project we've been doing for about a year. It's coming to completion, and we're just trying to put a pool within the limit of work of the original order conditions. No, like I say, no modifications outside the limit of work. And that's basically the gist of it.
Josh, do you want to speak to the project?
Yeah, I believe you guys already, you did already issue the order of conditions with the approved limit of work. It appears that the limit of work runs along a tree line or some vegetation line, and it's well outside of the 30-foot no disturb zone, which is this light blue line here. So I would recommend issuing the amended order of conditions for this project with the condition that if the pool needs to be drained, you drain it by truck, not into the resource area. And that would be it.
Autumn, do you have any questions?
No questions, thank you.
Kwame?
No questions, thanks.
Mike?
No questions, thank you.
How are you-
You're a little late, Bob.
We moved a little faster. How are you filling the pool?
By truck.
By truck?
Yep.
Jessica?
No questions.
Nicole?
No questions.
Okay, so I need a motion. How did you do this? Do we close it and then put a motion to it, or we just put the motion to it?
You would just put the motion to it to issue an amended order of conditions.
Which,
I move that we issue an amended order of conditions for 6 Preservation Lane. Do I have to read the,
Yeah, just state that you want the,
I would just include the condition of not draining the pool into the resource area.
with the added condition that we do not drain the pool inside the resource area?
second?
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? And abstained. We have a 4-0-0 vote for the amended order of conditions with draining by truck.
Okay, thank you, guys.
See Josh before you start.
Either come in or I'll send it,
All right,
either way,
Thank you.
of course.
Come on.
Thanks for coming. Any other business discussion and/or votes or bills? Josh, do you have anything for us? Do you want?
No, at the last hearing, we talked about the signs for your 30-foot no disturbance zone. After hearing no responses from that, I decided to design them myself, so those have been ordered.
Okay.
So we're looking at those moving forward. I've put out for some bids to have the bylaw rewritten. We'll see how that comes back and if we can get money approved for that. No? I think we're
I
good.
just thought your design was very good.
Okay.
I also thought that it was nice to include that Nepanani Kikit on it, which
Part of
meant...
the logo. So.
Yeah, it's part of, actually, the Indians made Wareham their summer home, and those two words mean summer home. So I thought that was really nice.
Oh, perfect.
Okay? Any,
Perfect, since the population tends to increase during the summer, summer months rather. so
correct, yeah,
I like that.
very nice. Do we have any other business from any member?
The only thing might be, I think I've been to enough meetings to become a voting member if you would like me to become one.
How do we go about doing that?
So I don't think you have to make a motion to do it. It's just a recommendation to the select board. And if Jessica agrees to become a voting member, I can have it put on their next select board meeting to have her appointed.
Do you agree?
I agree.
Okay, so I will reach out to the select board and have them put it on the next agenda.
Great.
And I believe their next meeting is next week, so you must have already been sworn in, so I think by the next hearing you should be a voting member.
Does she have to attend that meeting?
With the
case they-
select board?
Yeah, in case they have any questions for her, or have you
I would-
already been to one?
I would
I attended
imagine
one
so.
Really?
I think you would have to attend it. With the only stipulation being, you could not vote at any of our continued hearings since you have missed, 2 of them. But with that said,
Do I have a motion?
Kwame could probably make a pretty good motion right now.
Yeah, so I think I would like to make a motion for Jessica Parr to attend the select board meeting to get sworn in as a full-time conservation member.
No,
Second.
we don't have to vote on it, so.
Oh.
Yeah, that wasn't the motion.
That wasn't the motion that we're looking for.
During the meeting.
Motion to adjourn the meeting. Listen, I've been in class this whole week. crazy, so sorry. That too.
We're moving to close the meeting. It's 7 o'clock.
Sorry.
Is that a record?
Wow, that's amazing.
All those in favor, wait, we didn't vote. All those in favor?
Oh,
Aye. Opposed? Meeting is closed
Josh.
by a 4-0-0 vote
It's
at
fine.
7 PM.
That's fine.
Only took a half hour.